According to very numerous local reports, surviving giants live inside the rainforest jungle mountain ranges of Guadalcanal. They have vast cave systems running the length of the entire island. Australian Marius Boyarayan, a retired helicopter pilot/engineer who is married to a Solomon Islander, has come across many Guadalcanal people who believe these giants can travel from Cast to west through these cave systems without seeing the light of day. It is believed that their population numbers in the thousands. An underground city? Residents of Guadalcanal Island also believe there is a huge city of them underneath the big mountains of the island. Boyarayan, writing in the August-September issue of Nexus magazine, asserts that Mount Tadava is definitely one of this city's main entrances, and that if anyone ever wished to film these giants, the villages closest to this mountain are a good starting point. He states that they are seen regularly by the village folk in this region. But this is by no means the only location. They are seen in many other places throughout this large island and on a daily basis somewhere on the island. The Solomons, to which Guadalcanal belongs, are frequently termed the place that time forgot. Could there be some truth in the accounts of modern giants here? The Gold Ridge Incident. Gold-rich Guadalcanal has been attracting prospectors for years. In the 1970s, various gold mining companies began negotiating with the traditional landowners with the aim of capitalizing on this gold. After a succession of failed attempts, Ross Mining finally broke through with a 3% deal for the indigenous people. In 1998, as building of a mine at Gold Ridge in central northern Guadalcanal got underway, bulldozers began pushing in roads and clearing the mine area. Late one afternoon, one of the huge bulldozers broke down, with one of the pins on the blade attachment rendered useless. The workers leave the blade there, it weighed more than 10 tons, and take the bulldozer back to the workshop for overnight repairs, so that work could continue the next day. The next morning, when they returned to the site, the blade had vanished. Remember, this was a 10-ton-plus blade. Not surprisingly, everyone on the team was confused. How could such a heavy object vanish? A search was begun, and someone noticed gigantic human footprints, some 3 feet in length. The blade was found about 100 meters away on a small hill. Government officials report. Some years ago, during a contract with an American fishing fleet, Boyarayan was stationed for 6 weeks opposite the old Guadalcanal provincial headquarters. It was here that met the then Guadalcanal Premier and the Finance Minister, Victor. They told him of an encounter they had recently had with living giants. The Premier, incidentally, is now a national minister. Victor is again a Guadalcanal minister. On the long drive up to Gold Ridge to survey the area of the proposed gold mine, the road was slippery and their twin-cab Toyota Hilux 4WD vehicle had slipped off the road and got bogged. They walked back to the last village they had passed and brought back about 30 helpers. To their great surprise, the vehicle was back on the road. And standing there were 2 giant men, one at each end. In fear, they all turned and ran. Half an hour later, when they cautiously returned, the giants had gone. From examining the footprints, it was apparent that the big men had each picked up the 4WD by placing one foot on the road and the other near the vehicle. The men were estimated at about 15 feet tall. Underground lighting system. At times, local people have been captured and released. They report that inside the mountains there exists a lighting system that has no obvious source of light, such as lamps or bulbs. Giant artifacts. Throughout both Guadalcanal and Malaita, there are reportedly hundreds of caves containing giant artifacts. 15-foot skeleton. One credible witness to these is a once Prime Minister and the previous Guadalcanal Premier, Ezequiel Ailboa. He recalls that when he was a child his father took him to a burial cave in East Guadalcanal. Inside was a complete skeleton that must be around 15 feet in length. To the local population on Guadalcanal, giants are common knowledge. Interaction with giants has been frequent through their history. The giants' territory is a 1,000 square kilometer area of mountains covered in tropical jungle west of Mount Papamonesu. Local tribes, not only in Guadalcanal, but in most parts of the Solomon Islands have recorded a tumultuous historical relationship with the giants. The area is rich in memories of such encounters. Giants allegedly still survive on Santa Isabel Island. Although they are fewer in number than on Guadalcanal, there are 2 areas where they live. Any local person is able to steer you in the right direction. Another of the Solomon Islands is Choiseul. The island of Choiseul is not small. Some 300 kilometers long by 80 kilometers wide, it numerous villages. But there is one large area of its interior where no village exists. And apparently with good reason, living giants. 8-foot-long femur bone. Boyarayan's wife comes from a place called Cuyo. In the Quaraii region, north of there, is a large burial place scattered with giant skeletons. They lie over the ground. In a nearby village stands a hut, one of whose main support poles is a human femur bone nearly 8 feet long. An expedition to the region is being planned. We will keep you informed of developments.